But I remember one day I was really frustrated because on one side I had, and everybody has, I call them either naysayers or noise. Noise is from people that love you and care about you, and they're coming from their own fears. When you try to achieve bigger things, they don't understand because they're coming from their fear. Maybe they like, structure, and they don't really want to go out and take risk or do all those kind of things. And so I had that a little bit with my sister, who is super important to me because she was really, even though she's only 10 years and 2 days older than me, she really was like a mother because our mother was not around. So she's super important to me. I had her on one side, not understanding why I am the way I am. And then on the other side, part of my role is to recruit agents and bring them to a company that I believe will change their life. And I would have those people not seem to want to achieve more, right? So I had this conflict. And I said to Gary one day when he's had a coaching session, I said, I know there's an answer here somewhere, but I can't see the forest for the trees. Can you help me understand this? And I explained it to him, and he said, well, Linda, life is about becoming. And the way that we become, all that we're here to become, is we go out into the world and we see what else it is we can achieve. He said sports teams don't win one Super Bowl and go back to and do no training or try to get better. They actually go back and see who else they can become. And that was like a load got lifted, because I think there's places and sometimes in society that we can feel bad about being an achiever. Like it's a bad thing, right? And so that was such a clear distinction of it for me. And then I thought, how could you not want to see what all you could become here? And then I don't know if you've ever heard, there's a Pastor Wilkerson that tells it's called the Warehouse Story, where he talks about a guy that dies and goes to heaven, and St. Peter shows him around. There's this huge warehouse, and every corner they turn, they can see more of this huge warehouse. And the guy says, what is in that building? And he said, yeah, you don't really want to know. So finally he just says, look, I gotta know what's in there. And they open the doors, and inside this warehouse in heaven is all these boxes that have been unopened. And he goes around and he sees some with his name on it. And he says, what are these? And he said, these are blessings that God tried to give you, but you didn't open the package, right? And so I kind of think about it like that. And I think about books that I've read about people who say, I wish I'd have lived a life that was true to myself, not one that was expected of me by others, which to me translates into, I got to figure out what that life is. I can't just, ding around and just whatever happens. I got to have some ability to know what is important. What will I regret when I get to the end of my life? And then I think just enough things happened throughout my life for me to see people who died with regrets. And I think, I don't want to do that. I don't,